Welcome to the Pixel Predicted Paper 2. This is the Foundation Tier Edexcel paper. Question 1. Part A. Write down the fraction of this shape that is shaded. Give your fraction in its simplest form. We can see here that we have 9 out of 12 squares shaded. This fraction is divisible here, our numerator and our denominator, by 3. So in its simplest form, 3 over 4, 3/4. Shade 2/7 of this shape. If we look here at the shape, we can see that if we look at our columns, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns. So to find 2/7 of that shaded, we can shade 2 of these columns. In total, you need to have 6 of the squares shaded. Question 2. Work out 5 squared. 5 to the power 2 is 5 multiplied by itself, 5 times 5, which is 25. Find the square root of 3.24. To do that, you need to take your calculator and press this button, then 3.24 and equals. That gives us the square root as 1.8. Part C, work out the number that is halfway between 3.7 and 4.4. Halfway between is 4.05. If we go from 3.7, 3.8, 3.9, 4.0, 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, and halfway is going to be here, halfway between our 4.0 and our 4.1. Question 3. Work out the bearing of B from A. We start at A, the north line, and we go round in a clockwise direction. So we're told here that our angle is 40, and from this part here shaded, we have a straight line, so we need to add 180 with the 40 to find the total bearing, which is 220 degrees. Question 4. On the grid, enlarge the shaded shape by a scale factor of 3 with centre 0. This means that we need to multiply all of our lengths by 3. And we need to be careful here that this is our starting point. So to find out where we're going to draw our shape, first we're going to say from our point 0 to one of our corners of our shape. So if we take this point here, which is close, we go across 1 and then up 2. So we're going to multiply that journey now by 3. So instead of going across 1, we're going to go across 3. Instead of going up 2, we're going to go up 6. So this is our new corner. Then taking your ruler, you can draw a straight line up. Instead of 1, it will be 3, all multiplied by 3. Across here we have 3, so instead we will go 9, 3 times the length. Here's 2, so we'll go to 6. Same across here, 3 and 3, 1 here, which then becomes 3, and our final side there to complete the shape. Question number 5. On the grid, show how this kite will tessellate. You should draw at least 8 kites. So here we have to repeat the shape, the identical shape, and we need to make sure that these kites are connected without any spaces. So we can connect here and put a kite identical in the opposite direction. Similarly here, we can connect here and here, and we can connect down here, here. So it's got to be exactly the same dimensions We're making a pattern, interconnecting, but we're not having any spaces between the kites. And you could have gone off to the left, but what you need to make sure you have at least 8 kites. So we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Question 6. Here is a list of ingredients needed to make scones for 4 people. Work out how much each ingredient is needed to make for 6 people. Well, there are a number of ways that you can do this. We can look at the scale factor between 6 and 4. We can see the relationship. 6 divided by 4 is equal to 1.5. So we can multiply all of these ingredients by 1.5. We could find out how many for 2 by dividing by a half. So here we would have 100, 1, 25 and 50. And then we could add together to make for 6. Either way, our final answer that we're going to get here, remembering we have a calculator we can use, is 300 grams of flour, 3 eggs, 75 grams of currants, and 150 millilitres of milk. Question number 7. Use your calculator to work out the value of this. So you can put this into your calculator in one go, or you can work out each part separately. If you do that, the first part will be 4.5, and then you will add 1.65 squared, which is 2.7225. The final answer then is 7.2225. Question number 8. Write down the coordinates of point A. Our coordinates of point A, x first is 3 and y 3. So we have here 3, 3. The coordinates for point B, we have 4, 0. We're then told that n is a point -3, 2. So x is -3 and 2 up here. And asked to mark this on the grid and label n. N is another point. The x-coordinate of m is the same as the x-coordinate of n. We're then told that the y-coordinate of m is the same as the y-coordinate of b. So here we can then see that our x-coordinate for n is -3. And our y-coordinate for b is 0. Therefore, the coordinates of point M is -3, 0. Question number 9. The numbers of driving lessons taken by 15 people before passing their test are shown below. Complete an ordered stem and leaf diagram to represent this data. Remember to complete the key. So first off, we're going to look for our lowest numbers. We have here 9, so our first row here will be 9. Cross 9 off from our list. We're then looking for the teens. So we're starting off here with 13, which is twice. So in our next row down, we write 3 and then 3. We have 15, so 5. We have 16, 6. We have 18 twice, so 8 and 8, and 19, so 9 here. We then have for the 20s, 21, 22, 23, and 29. For 30, we have just 38, for 40, 48, and for 50, 58. Now to do our key, we can take any number here or any number within this range. For example, 20 and 3 means 23 lessons. In part B, we're told that the mean of these numbers is 24. So if we add up all of these numbers, the total, divide by 15, we will get 24. Tony says that the average number of lessons needed to pass a driving test is 24. Is this a reasonable statement to make? Give a reason for your answer. Well, here we can see that we have some really large numbers that are bigger than our numbers here in the middle. So actually, it would be better in this case to use the medium. If we look here for our medium, the middle value, our medium is actually here, represented here, 19. So in this case, we would say that the medium would be a better, because it doesn't therefore include these large numbers here, 38, 48 and 58. Question 10. Work out the highest common factor of 16 and 20. So first off, let's do two factor trees. So we're going to split our 16. It's an even number, so we can split by 2 and 8. Split again by 2 and 4. Split again 2 and 2. We circle these. These are all of our prime factors. And for 20, we will do the same. 20, 2 and 10, 2 and 5. Then to find our highest common factor, and afterwards we will be finding the lowest common multiple, it might be easier to draw a Venn diagram. To do that, we need two overlapping circles. One will represent the number 16 and the other the number 20. So what we're looking for is common pairs. So this 2 and this 2 matches. So in the middle we can write 2. This 2 here can match with this, and in the middle we write 2. On our circle here for our 16 we have our remaining 2, 2 2's, and here for 20 we have the remaining 5. To find the highest common factor, the HCF, we multiply together the numbers in the middle. So in this case we have 2 times 2, which is 4. For the lowest common multiple, we multiply all of the numbers in the Venn diagram. So all of these numbers multiplied by together will give us our lowest common multiple. So in this case we have 2 to the power 4 multiplied by 5, which gives us a total of 80. Question 11. On the grid, draw a graph of y equals 3x plus 4. So first, if we look at our x-axis here, we can see we go from -2 to +2. So we're going to substitute in here x, -2, -1, 0, 1 and 2. We then need to find our corresponding y value. It's often easier to start here with 0. So substituting in here, 3 multiplied by 0 is 0 plus 4 is 4. 1 multiplied by 3 is 3 plus 4 is 7. 2 times 3 is 6 plus 4 is 10. Then moving on to our negatives, we could either see our pattern and we see that we're adding 3 each time, therefore this number must be 1, or we can substitute in again. So here 3 times -2 is -6, plus 4 is -2. Now substituting these, now we have substituted these, we can now plot these onto our graph. This is a linear graph, therefore we should have a straight line. So our first point, x -2, y -2 is here. -1, +1, 0, 4, 1, 7, and 2, 10. So that looks good. Taking your ruler now, connecting your coordinates to form a straight line. Question 12. Work out the size of the angle marked X. Here we have a right angle denoted by the box. Here we have 130, so adding together our 90 plus our 130 gives us 220. We have angles at a point, therefore we will subtract from the total 360. This will then give us 140. The reason angles at a point add up to 360 degrees. Here we have parallel lines. We can see here are arrows. Therefore, we're going to have some corresponding and alternate angles. We're asked to find the angle marked Y. So we first off can see here that if we extend the angle we're given, the enclosed angle here, and extend, we then have here and here alternate angles. So therefore this angle here is 68 degrees. So our first step is to say that alternate angles are equal. We can then find our value of Y because we have a straight line. Angles on a straight line add up to 180. So 180 subtract our 68 is 112 degrees. So here we have Y equals 112 degrees. The second part of the reason is that angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. Question 13. Work out the total surface area of the triangular prism. So here we need to find the area of each one of the faces. So first let's take a look at the triangular face here at the front. And we can see that there is another one identical at the back. So let's find the area of the triangle. We find the area of the triangle by taking the height and multiplying by the base and then dividing by 2. 3 times 4 is 12, divided by 2 is 6 centimetres squared. Now we've got 2 of those, so we're going to have 6 centimetres squared plus 6 centimetres squared. Let's take a look now at the rectangle shown here in the yellow. Here we have a length and width. 5 multiplied by 7 is 35 centimetres squared. So we're going to add that to our total. Then we can see here the base. 4 multiplied by 7, which is 28 centimetres squared. And then we're going to add our final side, which is at the back here. Height is 3 and the width here is 7. So here we have 3 multiplied by 7, 21 centimetres squared. And then we're going to need to add up all of these. So a 6 plus 6 plus 35 plus 28 plus 21 for our total surface area, which is 96 centimetres squared. Question 14. We have a large tub of popcorn which costs £3.80 and holds 200 grams. And then a regular size tub of popcorn which costs £3.50 and holds 175 grams. Rob says that the larger tub is better value. Linda says that the regular tub is better value. We need to work out who is correct, but we need to explain our answer. So first off, let's take a look at the large tub, and we're going to work out the price here so that we can therefore compare. There are a number of ways that you can do this. You could look at the price per gram or per 10 grams, 25 grams, 15 grams, etc. So here with our quantities, the easiest way would be to first off take the price, £3.80, and divide by the total number of grams, which is 200. So £3.80 divided by 200 is equal to 0.019. We then do the same for the regular. The price, £3.50 in this case, divided by the number of grams, 175, which will then give our price for 1 gram, which is 0.02. And we're looking for the cheapest, the smallest number, which will be this one here, which is the large tub. Therefore, Rob is correct. Question 15. Work out the size of the angle Mart X. Here we have a four-sided shape. This is a quadrilateral. The angles in a quadrilateral add up to 360. So first off, we're going to add 125 plus 67 plus 80, and we're going to subtract that from 360. So 360 subtract this total will give us our answer for x, which is 88 degrees. In this diagram here, we have a triangle and a straight line. Our first step is to find the angle marked here with the red line. We do that by subtracting from 180, because angles on a straight line add up to 180. So this angle here is 36. So when we're giving our reasons, our first step is that angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. Once we have that, we then have a triangle. So we can add these three angles, which should give us 180. So we can find our missing angle y by 69 plus 36 and subtract that from 180 degrees, because angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. That gives us our missing angle for y, which is 75 degrees. Question 16. Here we're told that the motorway speed limit in Great Britain is 70 miles per hour and in Spain 120 kilometres per hour. And we're asked which of these speed limits is the lowest speed. So here we have two different units. We need to convert between our miles and our kilometres. The first really important thing that you need to remember and write down is that 5 miles is the same as equal to 8 kilometres. Then we can then work out an equivalence. So if we take the Great Britain and we here have 70 miles, we can look at the relationship here. So 70 divided by 5 is 14. That means to go from 5 to 70, we times by 14. Therefore, we must also do this on the right-hand side. 8 times 14 is 112 kilometres. So this is the same as 112 kilometres per hour. So we can therefore compare and see here that the lowest speed is in Great Britain. So here we need to put down which of these speed limits is the lowest speed. That's 70 miles per hour, which is for Great Britain. And this working out here shows how you got your answer. Question 17. There are only red, yellow, orange and green sweets in a bag. Peter recorded the colour of each sweet in the bag. The bar chart shows some information about his results. We're told that 8 sweets were orange and 5 green, and to complete the bar chart. So first off we have our red here, which is 6, our yellow, which is 10. Taking your ruler, for orange we're going to go up to 8, which is here. And for green we're going to 5. So here we have 4, here we have 6, halfway for 5. And then on to part B, write down the number of red sweets. Red is the first bar here, which is 6. What colour sweet is the mode? That's the most popular. So looking here, we're looking for the highest frequency, the highest bar, which corresponds with the yellow. And then the total number of sweets, 6 plus 10 plus 8 plus 5 is 29. Question 18. The scatter graph shows the information about 8 sheep. It shows the height, shown here on the x-axis, and the length of each sheep, shown here on the y-axis. Here we have information about 2 more sheep which we need to put onto the scatter diagram. So first, looking at our height on the x-axis, we go to 65, which has a corresponding length of 100. So that's here on our scatter diagram. The second sheep is 80 and 110, so going up here to 110 is here. We're then asked to describe the relationship between the height and length of these shapes. This here is a positive. We can write down positive correlation, we can write down as the height increases, the length increases, but here simply writing positive will get you the mark. We're told that the height of a sheep is 76 centimetres and asked to estimate the length. To do that, you must take your ruler to start with and draw a straight line which goes roughly through the middle of the points. This is the line of best fit. So taking your ruler here and doing roughly through the middle with a similar number above and below the line. We can then estimate the length by looking here at the height. The height is 76, so 70, 75 and across 1, going up to the line and across. Now your answer will vary slightly depending on where you have drawn the line of best fit. In my diagram here, for my line of best fit, it's coming here between, we have 100 and 110, and we're going up in 2, so 102, 104, 106, 108. So your answer should be similar to 108. In the Mart scheme, the examiners will allow any answer between 105 and 110. Question 19. Here are the weights in kilograms of 7 people. You need to work out the modal weight. The modal weight is the most popular weight. So we're looking here for which number comes up the most. Well, we have here 2 49s. So the modal weight is 49 kilograms. The range, we take the largest, which in this case is 87 here, and we then subtract the smallest value, which for this data is 45. So 87 subtract 45 will give us the range of 42. For the mean, we need to add up these 7 values and then divide by 7. So first off, taking your calculator and adding up these values will give you 434. Dividing by 7 will give you the mean of 62. Question 20. The shape is a regular polygon. Write down the special name for this type of regular polygon. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides, therefore we have a hexagon. We're asked to work out the size of the angle marked Y. Well, here we have a straight line. Angles on a straight line add up to 180, therefore the angle marked X is 120. Writing down the reason, angles on a straight line add up to 180. We're then asked to write down the special name of a angle marked X. This angle is greater than 90 but less than 180. Therefore, it is called an obtuse angle. Question 21. The equation shown here has a solution between 1 and 2. We need to use a trial and improvement method to find this solution. Give your answer correct to 1 decimal place. In order to show you're working out, the best part here is to do a small table. This can be a rough sketch So your first column is for your values of X, your trials. So here we will write X, and it's easiest for us to start halfway between the 1 and the 2, which is 1.5. We substitute into the equation X to the power 3 plus 10X. Using your calculator will give you an answer of 18.375. We then need to comment and compare in relation to 25. This number is too low. Therefore, we will increase. So we will move to 1.6. Moving to 1.6 gives us 20.096. This again is too low. So let's go up a little bit higher. Let's try 1.8. Substituting in 1.8 gives us 23.832. This value is still too low. So going higher again, 1.9 will give us 25.859. This answer is too high. So here we have the situation where we have our numbers trials here to correct to 1 decimal place are consecutive. One answer is too low and one answer is too high. We will now carry out a check. Halfway between 1.8 and 1.9 is 1.85. Substituting that into our equation gives us 24.831. This value is too low. Therefore, the answer for X correct to 1 decimal place is 1.9. Question 22. N is an integer, that's a whole number. We need to write down all the possible values of n. Well, here for our inequality sign, we have that n is greater than and equal to, so therefore -3 is included. But it's less than 2. There is no equal sign, so 2 is not included. So all of the integer values, therefore, will be -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, not 2. Solve this inequality. Well, just like an equation, we need to have x as an answer. We need x on its own. At the moment, we have x on both the left-hand side and the right-hand side. So our first step is to subtract our 2x from both sides. That leaves us here with 3x, the inequality sign, and -6. We now want to know the value of 1x. So we're going to divide both sides by 3. -6 divided by 3. Gives us x is less than negative 2. Question 23. Here we have a right-angled triangle and we're asked to find the area of the triangle ABC. To find the area of a triangle, we multiply the height by the base, 6 times 14, and we divide by 2. 6 times 14 is 84, divided by 2 is 42. In part B, we have to find the length AB. That's this length here. So we're finding the hypotenuse, the longest side. We have a right angle triangle, so we're going to be doing Pythagoras with an addition. So here we have our two sides, 16, 6 squared, and 14 squared. So our two sides, 6 and 14 squared, which gives us our total of 232. Square root 232 gives us the value for the length AB, 15.23. Correct to 2 decimal places. Question 24. Factorize this expression. Both terms part here have an x. So outside the bracket x, inside the bracket, what do we multiply x by to get to x squared? X. What do we multiply x by to get to negative 5x? It's negative 5, close the brackets. Expanding here and simplifying, we need to multiply our x by our x squared, our x multiplied by 4, 4x, our 3 multiplied by x, 3x, and our 3 multiplied by 4, which is 12. We can then simplify by putting our two terms here together, 4x and 3x. Note that everything in here is positive. So we're left with 3 terms as a quadratic, x squared plus 7x plus 12. Question 25. Sathina records the times in minutes taken to repair 80 car tyres. The total frequency here is 80. And we're asked to calculate an estimate for the mean. Our first step is to find the midpoint of each group. Between 0 and 6, halfway is 3. 6 and 12 is 9. 12 and 18, 15, 21 and 27. We then need to multiply the frequency by the midpoint. So that's these two columns multiplied together. We have 45, 225, remember to use your calculator here, 300, 252, and 216. Adding up all of these values gives us a total of 1,038. Therefore our mean is 1038 divided by the total frequency, 80, which is 12.975. Question 26. Jamie travelled 20 kilometres from his home to his friend's house. Here we have 20 kilometres. This is him at home, travelling to his friend's house. Jamie then spent some time at his friend's house before returning home. This is the flat part of his journey. We're asked to write down the time that Jamie left home. The time that Jamie left home is when the graph starts going up, and we see here he's moving away from home. So here we have 10 o'clock, here we have 10:20, halfway will be 10:10. Write down Jamie's distance from home at 10:20. So going to our graph here, going to 10:20, drawing a line up and across, we can see here that at 10:20 he is approximately, here if we have 5, we're looking at approximately 6 kilometres. Jamie left his friend's house at 11:10 to return home. So here we have 11:10, halfway here, and we're asked to work out the time in minutes Jamie spent at his friend's house. Well, he arrived here at 10:40 and he's leaving here at 11:10. So altogether 30 minutes. Jamie returned home at a steady speed, therefore the line needs to be straight. He arrived home at 11:50, so that's halfway here between 11:40 and 12 o'clock. So taking your ruler and drawing a straight line connecting here halfway, so we're going back 3, 4, 5 here in our graph. In part E, work out Jamie's average speed on his journey from his home to his friend's house. Give your answer in kilometre per hour. So when we look here, from his home to Jamie's house, so it takes him, if he leaves at 10:10 to 10:40, he does 30 minutes of travelling and he goes 20 kilometres. Therefore, if he goes per hour 60 minutes, he will travel 40 kilometres. Therefore, his speed is 40 kilometres per hour.